What's up guys, Ken from Cerberus USA here. So in this video we're talking all about hip activation and more specifically glute activation drills with one of these Cerberus grip halos. So before we get into all the nuts and bolts of the video, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, that way you get notifications for all future videos. And then if you have any questions, comments, concerns, all that good stuff, please leave them down below, that way I can get back to you. I'm going to talk to you all about this, the applications of it, and then how we use it best for our warm-ups as well as in actual exercises in the video, so let's get to it. Okay, so like I said, we're using this to activate our glutes, and to do that fully, we really want to target the two main actions of the glute. Now the first one is to externally rotate the hip, so it's basically trying to drive your knee out as if you're trying to squat. And then the second one is to extend at the hip like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to initially put this on, we're just going to put both our legs through it and slide it up just above our knees, and it's got a nice anti-slip lining inside it, that way you can wear it on top of clothes, on top of bare skin, whatever you want, and it won't slide up and down. So for me, I like to have it just above my knee. So there's the top of my kneecap, it's right above there. Now with this we want to be moving as much as possible because that's when we're going to get the most activation from our glutes. Now the drills we want to do, we're going to do forward walking, backward walking, and then lateral steps, and then a hybrid of that. So with this on, we're going to keep our feet pointing forward as much as possible, and then we're going to overemphasize our walk, but try and really focus in on that glute activating. And then we're going to walk back, and you can link it together, but you're going slow and you're trying to really fire that glute. Now for this, 10 steps forward, 10 steps back, 15, 20, whatever you want. For me personally, I put everything together. I do 10 of everything on each leg, put it all together as a complex and do 2 or 3 sets. So there's our first two-part movement. Now the second two-part, we're going to do a lateral movement. So we're going to stand here and we're going to walk step side to side. Now what you don't want to do is you don't want to lead with your ankle. You want to lead with the knee. That way you're really firing that glute more. So we lead with the knee, and obviously your ankle's coming out first, but you're thinking of your knee leading the way. And that way you fire your glute a hell of a lot more. So there's our second, again, 10 side to side. Third of the moving is going to be a hybrid of the two, where we're walking, but we're walking forward and then kicking out as well. So we're basically going like this. Almost like diagonal walking. And then back, really trying to focus on leading with the knee and pulling back at the same time. Or if you're going forward, leading with the knee and kicking forward, if that makes sense. As you start to play with this more and more and more, you'll actually feel the glutes turn on, and then you'll know how best to execute that movement for you personally. So there's our 3 movement based initially. Now if we're warming up for a squat, we can keep this on, get into our squat position, just do air squats. And we're just squatting as if we had a bar. The one thing I like to do is I like to hit a couple of reps on the squat, then come down, pause, really force my knees out as much as possible, try and get my glutes firing as much as I can, and then back into the squats. If you're doing this with a deadlift, same deal, get your deadlift stance, and then just warming up. Now you're forcing your knees out slightly, turning those glutes on, and then hitting your deadlift motion. If you do banded good mornings, for instance, throw this on, get into your good morning stance, have that band over, fire your glutes, hold the contraction, and then hit your good mornings. Now you can also use this actually during your warm-up sets. So, you know, if you're squatting, throw it on. Hit the first couple of sets nice and slow, but really focusing on driving those knees out, turning those glutes on. So that's all the warm-up stuff. Now you can also add this into, say, leg presses, glute bridges, good mornings, like I said, with the bar as well. With squats, I wouldn't go super heavy. I would go maybe 30%, maybe at a push 40%, but no heavier. And the reason for that is that basically when you get into a squat with this, you have a stability factor. With a leg press, a glute bridge, things like that, you don't have the stability factor. And because this is pulling your knees in, you don't want to be going heavy with the squat when your stability is somewhat compromised. So hopefully that gives you some ideas for the warm-up stuff with the hip halo and the grip halo. The hip halo is basically the same thing, but no gripper inside. I've got a link in the description for these where you can get them. And until next time, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, blah, 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 put them below, and then I'll catch you in the next video.